got a ball game now. 42-36. 8 minutes to go. Championship game. We'll be back.
Stay within the lines. The lines are our friends. Stay. The lines are our friends.
Now you can go way outside the lines during the Isuzu Great Escape event. Right now, Isuzu is offering great lease deals or $1,500 cash back on the 1997 Isuzu Rodeo, the 190 horsepower escape vehicle. Hurry into your Isuzu dealer because the Isuzu Great Escape event ends March 31st.
Don't miss this hip-hop sensation, Jam on the Groove, April 15th through the 20th at the Moore Theater in Seattle.
It's a sensational new show that celebrates the culture of the city like nothing you've ever seen. Jam on the Groove. The New York Times calls it astonishing and jubilant. Experience the revolution on Broadway with Jam on the Groove. International tour sponsored by Calvin Klein Jeans.
Tickets on sale now at all Ticketmaster locations or charged by phone at 292 Arts. Jam on the Groove, bringing hip-hop to a Seattle state.
That's an unacceptable response. Why did I receive a confirmation that the lot was set aside if I find out now?
No, if we have the laces in by next Tuesday, we don't have a problem.
From PCs to cell phones, from modems to faxes, we make the chips that help make telecommuting an affordable reality. AMD. At work in your life.
Well, this is what you play for. I know that's a cliche, but it is what you play for. 8 minutes to go in the championship game. Mercer Island up by 6. Mount Vernon undefeated, looking to become the 3rd straight undefeated team to win the state title in a row. Mercer Island would like to get that trophy back again. They've had so many times. The best 2 teams in high school basketball, and it's coming down to the final 8 minutes of play.
That's right. They were ranked 1-2 for most of the second half of the season, and looks like the polls were right. It's a good reason why these guys were ranked like that.
Grant Leap with a nice shot from about 6 feet away and gets his own rebound. He's got the reverse lay-in on the follow. 14 points for Leap. 42-38. He cuts the lead to 4.
Grant Leap picking things up now. He knows what's on the line. And he knows he's got to be the center, bringing his team back here, and now they're only down by 4.
Crosse Freeman turns around, pops one in from 3 feet away. It's no good. He gets his own rebound. Tries to put it back out again. Collins has knocked the ball off of Crosse Freeman and out of bounds, so it will be Mount Vernon ball. A big play by Collins.
Third quarter, Mount Vernon shot 75%, 33% from Mercer Island, and that kind of tells you why they're back in it.
There's a foul on Fisher. It might be 5. No, it's 4. 4 fouls on Josh Fisher as he fouls in the backcourt. So a 4-point lead could shrink quickly here.
We talked about it early in the first quarter where Mercer Island got a lot of fouls there the first 5-6 minutes of the game, and now it's this time of the game where those fouls can come back to haunt you. Brian Brown coming in now for Josh Fisher. Another substitution, Tyler Bessiker coming in. Number 33, Will Russell.
So, you know, you set up the same kind of drama as the Islanders had in last night's game with Brown in the game in the 4th quarter. You got to get him the ball. There's no doubt about that. They still have a lead by 4, but it could shrink right here. Kruger's first free throw is good. Eric Kruger, the 6'3" senior, has 5 points in the game. He averages 7.6.
And you can just feel the confidence Mount Vernon's getting right now. Something they've had none of in the first half.
Second free throw, good. We got a 2-point ball game. Mercer Island leads by 2, 7:10 to go in the game. Brian Brown controls for Mercer Island. Over to Bessiker. Crosse Freeman, guarded by Fisher. Guarded by Collins. I keep calling him Fisher, but his name is really Collins.
And he just picked up a foul.
The foul is on number 20, Scott Collins. His first personal foul, team foul number 5.
pressure defense. Mount Vernon now they're picking it up here. Fourth quarter. Scott Collins just a little too aggressive. Gets called for the foul.
Brown inbounds the ball, knocked back out of bounds by Kruger. Well, I tell you, the intensity has turned up 100% from the last quarter and even from the first half, certainly from the first half. Here's Brian Brown trying to inbound the ball. They lead by 2, Mercer Island does. Mobley's got it. Back out to Brown. Is he going to try the 3? No. Leaps all over. Now he's driving. Brown off the glass, too high, no good. Rebound, Mount Vernon. Here come the Bulldogs. Eric Lynn with the ball. Long one by Collins. Yes!
And Mount Vernon's got the lead, Tony.
Scott Collins has given Mount Vernon its first lead of the ball game. With 6:29 to go, Mercer Island is now trailing as Mount Vernon has taken the lead 43-42, and that 3-pointer by Scott Collins. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. You know, he hit that driving layup and that 3. He might be playing.
Yeah.
Makes me uncomfortable when there's a bunch of yapping while I eat. That's why I like those comfy private booths at Black Angus.
Especially when they're setting out top sirloin with pan-roasted garlic, a dozen golden fried shrimp, and barbecued baby back ribs. Black Angus garlic steak, a dozen shrimp, barbecued ribs, and all the fixings, just $11.99.
With no discomfort and distractions.
10 years ago, this leading consumer magazine rated dozens of mattresses. Sleep Country has turned back the clock on mattress prices. Now you can buy the mattress set that was at the top of their recommendations list for $100 less than the price they showed 10 years ago.
Want a cell phone? Compare the 4 C's and you'll choose a Car Toys better than free cell phone with $100 free accessories plus free activation.
Car Toys, a better way to go.
Just the tournament.
That's Mac Frazier. His team has just taken the lead 43-42 with 6:29 to go. Mercer Island with the basketball. They've led the entire night. But Scott Collins' 3 just gave his team the lead. I got a feeling it's going to go back and forth about 20 times before this one's over. Islanders with the ball. Mobley at the top of the key. Got it posted by Kruger. Brown's got the ball. He's got a man on him. Tight defense being played by Mount Vernon. Like a foul called underneath.
Once again, Mount Vernon with picking it up to another level on defense, Tony.
Scott Collins with 2 personal fouls on him now. Plays some great defense, a little too great at that point. 6:08 to go. Mount Vernon by a point. Islanders inbound the ball inside. Oh, it's stolen away. Nick Lynn with a steal. Collins. Inside of the big sophomore Whitehead. But there was a turnover. Apparently traveled underneath or something happened, and it is Mercer Island ball.
Brian Whitehead lost the handle a little bit there, Tony. Mount Vernon trying to run a little bit.
Well, now their momentum and everybody else's will be stopped because we got a scoreboard outage again. It's happened a few times in the game tonight in the first half. It really slowed the momentum, and it happened here. It's nothing that we can blame anybody for. That's the kind of stuff that occasionally occurs. They have run a beautiful tournament here, though, all week long. The girls on one side, the boys on the other. The championship games, of course, took place here on the main court. It's been a great tournament.
We were talking earlier about the fact that they're going to have 4A and 3A next year. Both these teams are going to go 3A next year, so they're going to be possibly meeting again, only in a different division. What they're going to do next year, they're going to play both tournaments here in the Kingdom, but they're going to be a week apart. The final of the 3A tournament will be here, and then the following week they'll play the 4A tournament. It's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like. Mercer Island always been AAA, not in the, I guess, the biggest bracket. but obviously one of the best programs. I don't think there's going to be that much of a real difference between 3A and 4A, at least not for a while, because obviously here's proof. These two teams are going to be 3A next year.
Let's go over to Brent Bringenbaugh on the other side of the court. Brent?
Tony and Bill, I was listening to Mac Frazier in the huddle just a minute ago, and he was very calm. He was staying very calm, just telling his players that they need to keep pushing the ball on the fast break. And then at the very end, he flat out told them, we just got to stop them.
Well, he's right about that. And they've been pretty successful in stopping Mercer Island in the second half. See, as you check the halftime score, obviously at this point, Mount Vernon has outscored Mercer Island in the second half to get the lead.
We got to wonder, we've been talking all night about the youth of Mercer Island and how they were playing so well in the first half, but sometimes that youth in the fourth quarter can come back to haunt you a little bit. Mount Vernon, on the other hand, a little more experienced and undefeated on top of that. Maybe, just maybe, Mount Vernon's experience is catching up a little bit here and could prove the difference down the stretch.
Well, let's see who they bring out on the court. I can guarantee you.
Well, they've been going with pretty much the same guys.
Yep. Will be three of the seniors. It's Kruger, 25. But the big sophomore, Brian Whitehead's had a pretty darn good game tonight. Of course, Leap, 30. Nick Lind, a senior. Leap's only a junior. The Islanders, Brian Brown inbounds the ball to the outstanding sophomore, Elliot Crosse Freeman. He's had a great game tonight. He's going to need more of a great game in the final 6 minutes.
He's done a great job of running the offense for Ed Pepple.
Here's Mobley. Winds around the right side, takes a shot off the glass, misses, but he's fouled.
Nick Lind picking up the foul here.
He's got 2 on him.
Mobley with a chance to give Mercer Island the lead back. 5:41 to go in the AAA Boys State Championship.
43 to 42. Mount Vernon, they've had their only lead of the night right here. They've had it for about 30 seconds. Mercer Island jumped out to a pretty healthy lead early in the game. Led by 15 at halftime.
Coach Pepple over there shaking his head as Dyron Mobley misses the first free throw.
Second one is good. It's tied at 43 with 5:41 to go in the title game. Pressure in the backcourt applied by Mercer Island.
Now we got a kick.
Violation. Out of bounds, Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon getting the ball out of bounds. They go inside.
The big guy, the sophomore, hits one. Brian Whitehead gives them the lead by 2. Down the stretch, this one's going to go back and forth. 5:20 left in the ball game.
Nice little jumper there by Brian Whitehead. Keep the momentum going for Mount Vernon.
Whitehead with 10 points in the ball game. Here's Crosse Freeman, stops. Hook pass to number 44, Ben Jordan. The ball stolen away. Here comes Collins and the Bulldogs. Collins drives the lane, stops, shoots, in and out. Rebound, Mercer Island. Mobley controls, guarded closely by Collins. Going to be tough to pick players of the game for this one, Bill.
There's been a lot of players that have had factors in this game. Grant Leap's been picking it up a little bit for Mount Vernon.
Mobley drives the lane, shoots, scores, drives the baseline, shoots and scores. A beautiful play to tie the game at 45 apiece.
At this stage of the game, you will expect Brian Brown and Dyron Mobley to pick it up. They're the seniors. They're going to take possession here and take over the game. Leap just called for a charge, Cone.
That ball went in, but it won't count because of the charge.
Low basket. The foul is on number 30.
That's 4 fouls on Grant Leap.
So he's going to have to watch himself, because if he fouls out, this Mount Vernon team's totally different.
Josh Fisher into the Mercer Island.
Been going with 5 or 6 guys all the way. Not substituting quite as much as Ed Pepple, and if they lose Grant, they're a different team.
Hughes and Fisher back into the game for Mercer Island. Tied at 45 with 4:10 left to play. Brian Brown back out to Mobley.
That's
Shot is short. Rebound Hughes back to Freeman. He's got the lay-in.
Elliott Trace Freeman again gets the rebound. Puts it back in. He is not playing like a sophomore.
Boy, he's my pick for player of the game, no matter what happens from the Mercer Island side. There's Grant Leap over to Collins. Mercer Island up 2 with 3:41 left to play in the ball game. AAA championship coming right down to the wire, just the way we knew it would.
5 seconds.
5-second violation followed by a timeout. We're going to take a break. Mercer Island leads by 2 with 3.5 minutes left to go in the championship game. We'll be right back.
Want to know who's calling?
Mom? Dinner? I'm there.
Make life easier with caller ID from GTE.
Denise? Concert? On you. Okay.
Take those calls you want, when you want.
Boss! Promotion? All right.
Order caller ID from GTE today. Just call 1-800-SMART-CALL or stop by any GTE phone mart.
Inheritance? Cha-ching.
GTE. Amazing.
Edgar is our DH, and in between at bats, he does a lot of little things.
Now, that's a good grip.
Things fans don't always notice. Little things that help the ball club.
The square root of 16 is 4.
Thanks, Edgar.
That's Edgar.
We want 18 pizzas, 9 with pepperoni.
And it's what makes him the quiet leader he is.
Yes, we have a coupon.
The 97 Mariners. You gotta love these guys.
Well, it wasn't close at halftime, but it is now with 3.5 minutes left to play. Mercer Island up 47 to 45.
The Islanders have held their composure here. They couldn't let it slip away when Mount Vernon came back and finally took the lead, but Mercer Island does not let that happen. They're still ahead by 2 points here. 3:34 to go in the championship. This is what it's all about.
Brian Brown, the senior, inbounding the ball from Mercer Island. Gets it into Mobley. Crowd on its feet, some of the crowd. Beautiful play by Fisher inside. Fisher with 14 points in the ball game. A 4-point lead for Mercer Island. 3:17 to go. Here's Scott Collins. Guarded closely by Trace Freeman. Long looping pass stolen by Brian Brown. Back to Freeman. He runs the offense. 3 minutes left to go. Championship game. Mercer Island up by 4.
Big turnover for the Islanders there.
Freeman's got it. Looking to get it inside to Fisher. Bounce pass to Fisher. He's bumped hard. No foul call. Here's Mobley. Back out it goes to Russell. Top of the key. Left side to Fisher. Out to Brown. 2:40 left to go. Mercer Island controls the ball. They've got the lead. Fisher driving. 5-footer. Too hard off the glass. Gets his own rebound. Puts it up again. Gets it again and gets fouled.
Great effort by
Josh Fisher. Great effort. Eric Kruger with the foul.
Josh Fisher getting the shot off, getting the rebound, just crashing the boards. Finally gets the foul. He'll go to the line. Islanders now up by 4. He can increase that to 6. 2:31 to go.
Boy, Josh, I mean, there's another great example of a sophomore who's come off the bench a couple of times to spark this team.
That's what's interesting again.
50 to 45. Scott Collins. Where's that Kruger? Couldn't see who it was.
Scott Collins.
Collins fouled out. Collins is a junior. He'll be back next year. 16 points in the ball game for Fisher. Mount Vernon down by 6. Still a lot of time to go. 2:10. Long bomb is in and out by Lind. Rebound underneath by the sophomore. But they're going to call a travel on him, I believe, or he stepped out of bounds. What happened?
I think we got a foul here.
Ryan Whitehead has played a tough game. for Mount Vernon tonight.
Call underneath. Brian Whitehead's going to go to the line.
Third foul on Russell. Whitehead has been pretty good at the line so far tonight.
Foul number 8, Brian Whitehead, shooting 1 and 1.
He's only a sophomore. He's played most of this ball game, Bill. First free throw's good. These are pressure free throws. His team is down 5 with 2:12 left to play.
And Mac Frazier really likes Brian Whitehead. Likes his way he works. And he also likes that he's only a sophomore. He's playing this well.
Hits the second free throw. He's got 12 in the game, and his team trails only by 4 now. Mercer Island up 51-47. 2:10 to go. Josh Fisher, 52, another sophomore. Takes the ball across the timeline. Inside it goes to the senior. That's the sophomore Freeman. Over to Mobley. To Fisher. Inside the Place Freeman. Lots of movement in the basketball by the Islanders with 1:53 to go. Fisher puts it down. Over back to Russell. Russell at the top of the key. Leaves it for the junior, Mobley. Mobley guarded closely by Kruger. A lot of pressure being applied by Mount Vernon, but the time is moving. The clock's running.
Mercer Island being real careful with the ball here. Running off time, trying to make Mount Vernon make a mistake.
Now finally they got a foul at some point, and there it is. Don Holloman commits the foul, but he had to do something with 1:23 left to play in the game.
Bulldogs finally said, okay, we got to stop the clock here a little bit. Elliot Prosse Freeman fouled, and he'll go to the line.
1:23 left to play in the championship game. Mercer Island 51-47 over Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon launched a very impressive comeback in the second half, and in fact took the lead on a three-pointer by Scott Collins, 43-42. But since then they've been outscored 9-4. The Islanders have stepped it up.
Yeah, last night the Bulldogs were in trouble at this stage of the game too, but they managed to pull it out. We talked about that shot that Nick Flynn hit last night. I think this one's far from over still. But again, Mount Vernon in a position they're not used to. They haven't really been behind at this stage of the game all year, except for a couple times. And they're going to have to deal with that now in the final minute 23. Max Frazier over there. Talking to his troop, Ed Peppel here. Planning out the strategy for the final minute or so. I'm sure Ed's telling his team, play smart. He always tells them to play smart. There's a young Islander fan that hopes this lead stays the way it is right now.
Well, here he is, the sophomore, number 3. Elliot Prosse Freeman's at the free throw line for Mercer Island. They lead by 4, 51-47 with 1:23 to play in the championship game. He makes the first free throw.
Big free throw for the sophomore. See if he can do it again here.
Second one, high off the rim and no good. Comes down to Grant Leap. Mount Vernon trails by 5 with 1:19 left to play.
Let's see if the Bulldogs go inside or if they try to hit some three-pointers.
That pass went off the face of Grant Leap, and he couldn't control it. And then he turned around, tried to get it back, as is so often the case, and committed his 5th foul. A tough way to go.
We talked about it earlier. If Grant Leap fouls out, how different this team's going to be. And there's his 5th foul. He's out of the game, and the Bulldogs are going to have to go the rest of the way, down by 5 without their leading scorer.
So often the case, Bill, when you commit a turnover as he did, the pass came into him, went off his face. He's a great athlete, good player, 14 points in the ball game. But the ball went off him, he lost it, and then in frustration, he commits the foul. And it shows you the intensity of this game. The fact that he had 4 on him, of course, doesn't even pop into your head at that point. You just try to get the ball back. Well, now it's Russell at the line for 2, or 1 and 1. First one is good.
Russell at the line, second one.
And Mercer Island is on the verge of putting this one away at 53-47.
Jordan Bell coming in from Mount Vernon right now in place of Eric Kruger. Another big free throw here for Will Russell.
He made them both. 7-point lead for the Islanders. And at this point, Mount Vernon needs to score and in a hurry. Lynn's three-point attempt is no good. Rebound comes down to the Islanders.
Pass.
Collins inside for the lay-in. A nice play. They're down 5 with a minute left to play. And Mount Vernon will call a timeout with 59 seconds to go. Mercer Island is a 54-49 lead. The Bulldogs playing without their top scorer, junior Grant Leaf, who is fouled out of the ballgame.
Well, I anticipate they're going to try to get the ball to Nick Land. Try to see if he can get hot from the outside to try to cut this lead down. 59.2 seconds to go. Mercer Island is going to be very careful with the ball. They're going to try again to make Mount Vernon make a mistake. Try to force Mount Vernon to make a mistake. Protect the ball. And again, play very smart and try to hold that lead.
And at this point, Mount Vernon is in a position to take some risks. They're going to have to shoot the three. They're going to have to drive to the hoop. They're going to have to get very aggressive in the final 1 minute of play to really get back in the game. They're down 5, which is not a lot, but against a team that protects the ball like Mercer Island, it's going to look like a lot in a few seconds. Islanders with the basketball. They lead 54-49.
Full court pressure here by Mount Vernon.
Brown gets it into Russell. They dive for it. It's a steal and a bucket by Collins.
And another quick timeout by the Bulldogs. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Get a turnover, get a basket, call another quick timeout.
Scott Collins with 13 points in the game. Boy, he has come on strong in the second half. 54-51. His team is trailing with 52 seconds to go.
That's your classic case. The leading scorer fouls out, and everybody else has to pick up the slack. And right now, Mercer Island's going to have to deal with that defensive pressure in the backcourt. First time there, they didn't deal with it too well. Mount Vernon gets a steal and a quick bucket.
Keep in mind, the one time they met this season, Mount Vernon won fairly big. Granted, free throws down the stretch built the lead and, in fact, inflated it just a bit. But the final was 51-47.
There's Mac Frazier. The hands of his team over his head. He's got a plan. He wants them to play smart, too.
All right, here we go. The final 52 seconds of the boys AAA championship game. Mercer Island up 54-51. They will try to inbound the ball against tremendous defensive pressure from the Bulldogs of Mount Vernon. They were not successful in their last attempt. Let's see what happens here. Long pass, Brian Brown. Cross-save Freeman will have a layup, and he's fouled. What a play by the sophomore.
There he is again. Ed Pepple decides to go deep. Brian Brown takes the ball out, goes deep to Elliott Cross-Freeman. He lays it in, gets fouled. A huge play from the Mercer Island Islanders.
What a night for the sophomore as he goes to the line to make it a three-point play, and he missed the free throw. Rebound comes down to Russell. Mercer Island controls the ball. The foul committed by Collins. And Brian Brown will go to the free throw line for a pair.
Brian pointing his finger at Will Russell. Great rebound in the clutch here. Less than a minute to go.
Russell, a 6'4" senior. Doesn't score a lot of points, but boy, he did his job right there when he had to. Mercer Island up 56-51. 46 seconds to play in the championship game.
Brian Brown with some huge three-pointers last night, but these are two big free throws.
First one up, rattles around and drops in. 6-point lead for the Islanders. Second free throw by Brian Brown off the front of the rim. Rebound comes down to Mount Vernon. 44 seconds to play. They trail by 6. Three-pointer by Collins.
Whoa! Scott Collins with a long three-pointer.
16 points for Collins. What a great fourth quarter he's had.
The foul is on number 20.